different videos now floating around out there, and it's unbelievable.
Angel Reese just pulled off the biggest bluff in WNBA history. Pay me more or I'm out. The only problem? She followed up that bold declaration with a performance that had fans wondering if she was auditioning for a home renovation show instead of a basketball game. It wasn't just a bad night, it was a bricklaying masterpiece. Money on her podcast, Reese stepped onto the court and promptly went 5 for 13 in her next unrivaled game. And if you think that's bad, one of those shots didn't just miss, it smacked the bottom of the backboard like it was trying to escape the gym. The timing couldn't have been worse for her argument, or better for everyone who enjoys comedy.
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, well, you two idiots just shut up. Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
So, let's break it down. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a WNBA player threatened to hold the entire league hostage over salary demands? Well, Angel Reese just gave us the answer, and it's hilarious. On a recent episode of her podcast Unapologetically Angel, which, let's be honest, should be renamed Unintentionally Comedic, Reese sat down with her partner in delusion, Dejanay Carrington, and delivered what might be the most over-the-top ultimatum in league history. She didn't just advocate for higher pay, she straight up suggested that if she doesn't get what she wants, she's willing to boycott.
I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent.
Yep, you heard that right. Angel Reese, who has yet to prove herself as a dominant force in the WNBA, thinks she has the leverage to shake the league to its core. But here's the problem. When your argument is, I deserve more money, the worst thing you can do is Is the WNBA really shaking in fear over this boycott threat? Or is Reese just giving fans another reason to laugh? Stay tuned, because we're about to dive into the most embarrassing highlights, well, lowlights, of Angel Reese's so-called superstar run.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
The moment Angel Reese stepped onto the court after her bold boycottress, just days after claiming her WNBA salary doesn't even pay one of her bills, she put up a performance that had fans wondering if the rent was due mid-game. At one point, it almost seemed like her teammates stopped passing her the ball, maybe out of secondhand embarrassment.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
Now, let's rewind for a second. Reese's rookie contract pays her about $73,000 this year, part of a 4-year, $325,000 deal, completely standard for WNBA rookies. But according to Angel, this salary barely covers her basic expenses. She went viral on TikTok, ranting about how the WNBA doesn't even pay one of my bills. And then she casually revealed she's paying $8 grand per month in rent.
I'm living beyond my means.
Here's where it gets even funnier. One of her biggest complaints? That future rookies, like USC's Juju Watkins, could end up making more money than her. Reese whined, "The ones coming in this year will still be on the rookie contract, but the ones after that, they're probably going to be making more than us."
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
The ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that the year after, they gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
Well, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
That's not injustice, Angel. That's literally how professional sports contracts work. She signed a 4-year rookie-scale deal. Even if the WNBA negotiates a new CBA that raises rookie salaries, she's still locked into the contract she signed. That's how every league operates. Imagine if every second-year NBA player demanded a raise just because the salary cap went up. It doesn't work that way.
Like, if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. Sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlyn Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
And let's not forget, the WNBA still lost around $40 million last season. They're not exactly sitting on NBA-level revenue. The league cannot afford to start ripping up contracts just because Angel Reese doesn't like hers anymore.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
But let's get back to what really matters: performance. If you're going to demand special treatment, you better play like an all-star. Instead, Reese is out here missing layups like she's trying to test the structural integrity of the backboard. So, let's get real. If Angel Reese thinks she's too good for her WNBA, completely different story. Angel Reese talks a big game about how she's one of the faces of the WNBA, but when you actually look at the ratings, it's clear that the real reason people are tuning in has nothing to do with her. In fact, when she played without Caitlyn Clark on the other side of the court, the viewership numbers plummeted.
Angel Reese last night, once again, had one of the worst shooting games in the history of planet Earth. For what's supposed to be a big? I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I understand her team won. I get it. 5 of 13 from the field. 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, only 10 points.
It turns out people aren't tuning in to watch Reese miss layups and complain about her paycheck. They're tuning in for actual star power, and we all know who that is. And let's be real, if Reese really was this huge ratings draw, wouldn't her own games be selling out? Wouldn't her jersey be flying off the shelves? Wouldn't people be fighting to get a ticket to see her play? Instead, it's Caitlyn Clark leading the WNBA in attendance, jersey sales, and viewership numbers. Meanwhile, Reese is still out here acting like she's the one bringing all the attention to the league while shooting 39% from the field and missing layups that would make a middle school coach shake their head.
This is the same player that just came out and said, if they don't pay them the bag in the WNBA, we sitting out. Quote, we sitting out. What? I mean, after seeing her miss routine layups over and over and over again, I'm like, how the hell can this person possibly be demanding more money from anyone?
The missed layup montage that's been making the rounds online is one of the funniest things you'll see all year. We're talking wide open shots, no defenders in sight, and she's still managing to find new and creative ways to brick them. At this point, someone needs to check if the backboard owes Reese money, because she's been punishing it nonstop.
Oh, Reese! 3-on-3! Part 13! Let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. I say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang!
They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages.
Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan, bang!
The internet, predictably, had a field day. As clips of these missed layups went viral, fans responded with comments dripping with sarcasm. "Pay her, please," and "Give her the max" appeared repeatedly under videos of her bricks. Others didn't hold back, labeling Reese a bricklayer and questioning her offensive skills with comments like, "She is so overrated this up."
Say what you want about Angel Reese. You can't tell me she isn't the star of every show every time she's on the court. I can't even hate on this. She's Larry, Moe, and Curly all at once. The Three Stooges. I mean, wow. Come on. I think the worst part is Lisa Leslie risked her legacy and credibility coaching her with no visible improvement so far anyways. Good God. Laugh out loud. But she gets rebounds. She's threatening leagues over pay.
Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is actually elevating the WNBA, selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and putting up legitimate superstar performances. While Reese is busy
5% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shots.
When measuring star power, social media followers and podcast engagement might seem impressive, but the real test lies in actual viewership numbers. And when it comes to Angel Reese, the numbers tell a story she probably doesn't want to hear. The Unrivaled League, where she currently plays, started off with promise, but interest has plummeted to record lows, dipping below 100,000 viewers. This isn't just a minor decline, it's a dramatic drop-off that suggests fans simply aren't tuning in to watch her play.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlyn Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlyn Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlyn Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The reality of Reese's supposed star power becomes even more questionable when you realize that an unrivaled game featuring her couldn't even outperform a college basketball matchup between UCLA and Nebraska on the Big Ten network. When a professional league game gets outdrawn by a random college contest, it raises serious concerns about just how much pull Reese actually has. If she's as influential as she claims to be, why aren't people showing up to watch?
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlyn Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero, zip, nothing.
This lack of interest extends beyond the unrivaled league. WNBA attendance figures tell the same story. Games featuring Caitlyn Clark consistently pack arenas, while those headlined by Reese struggle to fill seats. Empty arenas don't lie, and neither do TV ratings. Both make one thing abundantly clear. Clark is the true driving force behind women's basketball's rise in popularity, not Reese.
Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlyn Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around.
The other acknowledges and appreciates the moment.
I mean, I'm not huge on comparing the WNBA and the NBA. I don't really think that's fair. Obviously, I think where the WNBA is right now is pretty incredible. I think a lot of people, or most people, would not believe it's in the place that it is right now. So I think when people always ask me this question, where I think it'll be in 5 years, is it's hard for me to answer because people didn't even think we'd be right here, right now. And I think really sky's the limit. I think when you see, our TV numbers when we're on, national television, we're averaging over 1 million viewers or whatever it is. The All-Star game, I think, was over 4 million viewers. It's just really great numbers. So the more opportunities we're given, I think the more it's going to shine and get better and better. I think also the talent level in college is continuing to get a lot better, and as those players come into the league, and it's going to continue to improve. We're adding 2 new teams next year, and then probably another team year after that.
Some more games.
Yeah, more games, which I think will be good. It will lengthen the season a little bit more.
Reese threatens boycotts, while Clark focuses on improvement. Clark isn't demanding special treatment. Instead, she's spending her offseason refining her game and preparing for her second year in the league. She's putting in the work to elevate her performance, not elevate her paycheck. It's a stark contrast in attitudes. One player believes she deserves more based on hype alone, while the other understands that true value comes from consistent effort, results, and contribution to team success.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlyn Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlyn Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlyn Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlyn Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
So, who's actually responsible for the explosion of interest in women's basketball? The data makes it crystal clear. Reese's belief that she's a major viewership draw simply doesn't hold up when you look at the numbers. Meanwhile, Clark continues to break attendance records, dominate TV ratings, and drive the league's popularity to unprecedented heights. This isn't just a passing trend, it's a definitive statement. Caitlyn Clark, not Angel Reese, is the primary force behind women's basketball's current surge in popularity. This isn't an opinion or a biased take. It's what the numbers prove across every measurable metric. Whether it's ticket sales, television ratings, or merchandise demand, Clark is in a league of her own, while Reese continues to overestimate her influence.
I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up.
The undeniable truth about women's basketball's rapid growth is written in cold, hard statistics. While one player is making headlines for demanding more money, another is quietly selling out arenas and setting viewership records. As one analyst bluntly put it, "If I'm an NBA owner, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlyn Clark. But I wouldn't miss anything else." That statement perfectly captures the reality. Clark's influence towers over those who claim to be just as essential to the WNBA's success. The future of women's basketball isn't being built on podcast rants and empty threats. It's being shaped by real skill, authenticity, and a player who lets her game speak for itself. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Humility versus entitlement, substance versus spectacle. And fans are making their voices heard with their viewership, ticket purchases, and engagement. The numbers